What's up? I hope that scared the poop out of all of you. Anyways, I'm here just to be a turd, just to rant a little bit. Probably just talk about a little bit of everything, but there's some stuff that gets on my nerves. Might wait and see if a couple more people pop in. I mean, I don't know. We got a pretty decent amount of people in here. Looks like we got all the ragglers. We got. That moved right when I was scrolling it. What the crap? Apparently I can only see so much of it. I don't know what happened. Did I get took off the internet? Anyways, we got, looks like Dave is in here and Skinny, Eric Hawkins. So I appreciate you guys dropping in. You know, I've not been streaming a lot here lately, but it is what it is. I actually spent the last couple days trying to straighten this place up. I've got like 2 boxes full of Lone Wolf stuff because it's been occupying my table in there forever. I'm trying to get rid of the rest of the PsychoTron stuff because I don't want it piled up somewhere like this Lone Wolf stuff. So, been working on that. Released some music that I had the other day. We've got the Ravens Loft in here, another awesome creator. If you guys haven't checked out his work, you'll check it out. We got some really awesome guys in here. We've got, you know, he has a really cool book. He's got the Demon Hunter book, and then he just came out with the Winnie Pooh book. But then you got Skinny in here, who's got Otis Stein, and Otis Stein is insane, absolutely insane. And of course Eric is in here, Eric Hawkins, and he's got the Zombies for World of Oz. Oh, and then Larry just popped in. I've got some really awesome creators in here, some really cool guys. Some guys who are making some really original kind of stuff. I get tired of seeing, like, it's bad on Facebook. I don't see it as much on Twitter. I guess I'm in a different circle on Twitter. On Facebook, I see these, it's just an obvious ripoff. There's one character, I can't remember what the guy named it, but it's Spider-Man. He's even pretty much traced a Spider-Man cover, and this character has nothing to do with spiders when he's like swinging. Oh, and we've got Malady in here. Dude, I meant to message you back. I've not talked to you in forever. Oh, man. It's nice to see you in here. But yeah, some of the stuff's just super derivative. And I know you've got influences. Everybody's got influences. You can see influence of what I like in my comics. But I don't want to be the guy that makes some, like, the most derivative thing. There's so many Superman copies. There's several Spider-Mans. And it's like, oh, come on. I mean, there's a couple that sell really good, but I'm not going to go into that, the reasons why. I'm just going to say that this lady who markets this one book, her marketing strategy is working for her. We got Sam in here. What's up, Sam? Hope you're doing good. Yeah, man, you think my new work schedule, Mallet, I work 3 days a week. So you think that the other 4 days I'd be busy doing stuff, which here lately, I'm trying to get this house all straightened up and get everything in order. As things progress and grow, I need a bigger workspace. My desk here, I have my guitar interface and this crap, and my computer and stuff, and I need a bigger desk. Actually, I've got a really cool PC I need to fix. It's over here. It needs a hard drive, but it's like a monster PC compared to this one. I need to make one my recording station and use one for art and like making doing my editing on things. Just he's not in here right now, but I just want to give a shout out to Ashton Jackal. He sent me a drawing tab, so because I'm really wanting to get more into doing like the lettering on my books and stuff, which was always the plan, but I can't like I can't stand to use the mouse and drag out those those balloons and stuff. So with this, I'm gonna be able to make my own font, which I really want to do, and draw my own bubbles. So the bubbles will be hand drawn, and you know, I can use this to work on stuff for my music, do album covers and stuff. So just want to give a shout out to him. I really appreciate that. Let's see what's going on in the chat real quick. Larry, you cheeky devil. Mallet says he works 410s. I used to work 410s. I liked 410s in the 3-day weekend. It's pretty good. Let's see. Skinny says, one of my buddies caught heck for saying the indie market lacks creativity, and I actually agree. Like the bulk of what out there is just rip-offs. I agree, man. It really is. But you know what? Let the people... This is what's bad, though. And I noticed this in music. I was up at Mom's yesterday, and my dad, me and Mom's talking, and Dad, he goes to ride his exercise bike, and he plays Guitar Hero on Xbox 360. And he's in there, and he's playing Hotel California by the Eagles. And, like, when I was a kid, I was super burnt out on the song, heard it all the time. But I'm sitting there, and I'm just listening, and the music to that song is epic. Just epic. And I'm thinking, man. And those guys wasn't ripping anybody off. Those guys were making you hear that song and you go, oh, that's the Eagles. You hear Led Zeppelin, you go, oh, that's Led Zeppelin. You know, I can turn on modern rock radio, turn on a song, and I go, I don't, this band sounds just like the band they played, you know, before this one, and this one sounds like this one. I might know who Disturbed is if they play a Disturbed song because, you know, the, oh, wow. And that's not even really modern. But you know what I mean. But it seems like these days people don't seek out the creative stuff. They seek out what they know, what they're comfortable with. I think that's one problem with the indie comics is people like they don't have that sense of familiarity that they do like with Marvel and DC. They don't really, you know. That's just what I think. Larry says there's so many versions of Superman. Yeah, I've seen a million. Larry says we're going to build a place on the Doug's house for him to work in. If I go in that room and fix that floor, I've got me an office space that's perfect. Actually, I can use, you know, this space I can use for my comic stuff. That space in there I can use for my music stuff. Because I've got my guitar racks, like right in this room right here behind me is stacks of Lone Wolf comic books. Lone Wolf paraphernalia. There's a bookshelf over there with comics and books and everything on it. I've got a desk over here that I originally was going to use to do all my writing on, but it's got comic books stacked on it. I'd like to be able to sit over there and just write and chill out and move all this other stuff out of here. Mallet says, so the usual suspects are out there, LARPing. Well, these are some people that do it like, I think all those guys are. I've been ignoring them for years. That's just how it is. We got some guys now who act like they're a big part of the community, and I hate that word community. But what they do is they see what other people are doing, and they start making posts about it and talking about it or undermining it. If you ship books a certain way and you charge a certain amount. They do streams on it. They go and they make posts about it. If you talk about, now we have the big thing now, people are complaining that books are done before they ship. They don't think you should be able to do your book and offer it before it ships. They're like, that's a pre-order. I'm sorry. I don't have money to print a billion books. Me and Eric Kent, who does the art on PsychoTron, we're in a partnership. And what we're doing is we create the stuff. Eric spends his time. He donates his time doing the art. You know, I try to take care of everything else. And we produce a product. And we show that product to you. And we go, hey, do you want this product? And if you do, you can go to crowdfunding and you can donate. You can throw your money in to get that product mass produced. That's exactly what crowdfunding is for. It's cool. Like we had a big discussion yesterday, me and Larry and Skinny and somebody else. If you just got an idea, if you want to crowdfund your book the way, like you just got an idea or a script and you say, hey, here's my script, here's some concept art, that's fine too. All for it. People's kind of burn out on that because they donate all this money and nothing ever comes forward, or it comes 5 years later, which, I mean, that's just how it is. Me personally, and I'm not saying, and I understand it. I understand, like we talked, some people don't have the money. They can't take money out of their pocket and produce the art. You know, I understand that. Life is hard, especially right now with everything going up. If you're not an artist and you want art, you've got to try to sell a dream pretty much. It's hard, and I understand that. But there's nothing wrong with an artist coming forth and saying, hey, look, we've got a product. That's one way a lot of people crowdfund. I know plenty of there's been guitar pedals and everything else. They make a prototype and they're like, hey, here's a guitar pedal. Here's our product. Here's what it sounds like. You know, do you want one? If you want one, we can put it into production. That's exactly what me and Eric are doing. I don't understand why somebody wants to come in and tear down our business model. If your business model works for you, then you do your thing. If mine works for me, it works for me. We've got too many YouTubers making these, and it's all for YouTube, because I can get on here and tell you every day I can make a video how to make it in indie comics. It's just nonsense. You can get somebody who's actually succeeded, and what they do is completely different from what the guy did over here. Now let's look at the chat a little bit. I went on my rant. Skinny says he's going to build a room to poop in, and Larry says he does that in every room. Let's see. Larry says, what happened to the floor? When I moved in here, I used to sleep in that bedroom in there. That was my favorite bedroom. It's the master bedroom. It's big and all this stuff. Well, actually, no, I think that actually is the master bedroom. Anyways, there had been a water leak, and it had leaked in the bathroom and underneath the wall and into the floor. And see, my grandma and grandpa, when they were still living here, they didn't even sleep in that room anymore. Their bed was in there and stuff. They had pretty much, the last few years Grandpa was alive, he had a hospital bed in here because it was easier for him get up and down. And Grandma, she slept in a recliner for the last 20 years. When she passed away, I mean, she was still sleeping in a recliner at the nursing home. She got mad that she had broke her hip, and she was doing okay. They done surgery on her. She's doing okay. And they had brought her back, and she had to stay in the hospital bed. And she was mad. She was always, want to sleep in a recliner. That's what she liked. Dave says, you think the internet has anything to do with everything sounding the same? I don't know. I really don't know. Larry says, what's with guys making books about magic anime girls, and is it gay? I don't know, man. I think that seems to be something that sells, and I just feel weird. I don't. I mean, I don't want the half-naked lady covers. I don't have anybody's books in here. I mean, like one person, I'm just gonna go ahead and say, and he wouldn't care. He knows it's true. Tonic Mole. He's got the hot lady covers. That's not my thing at all. I love the dude's books. I am not into the hot lady covers. It's just weird to me, you know. But it seems to work. It seems like some of those magic anime girl books, they're trying to tap into a couple of markets, the weirdo pervs and the anime fans. Yeah, Skinny says, how dare we adapt to a market like Mitch and Critias ruined. Exactly. Those guys completely ruined the crowd, especially Critias. Made all this money, had people go to bat for him, and then just crapped all over everybody. And, I mean, I know stuff happens, man. But if you crowdfunded a book, you really need to put something out there. And here is something I'm just going to throw out to some of you guys. If you made a book and you had trouble doing that, you can tell anybody. And you had trouble getting it finished, whatever, and it's crowdfunded, and you need help, just holler at me. Holler at me. I'll ask a couple artists if they want to help, and we'll make something happen. There's a few artists. There's actually several artists that I'd really like to talk to, maybe to do a cover, do some pages for some books. And well, this is one thing. I'm not going to hire anybody to do pages. I'm not going to pay anybody to do pages for me if they haven't fulfilled a crowdfund. If they want to, like, I know some people have asked me about Brad. Brad has worked on Handyman. It's got a sour taste in his mouth, and he you know how it is. He'll finish it someday, but and here's the thing to Brad. Brad, if you need some help, if you want to get it finished and just get it out there, let me know. We can divide it into chapters, and we'll get some other artist on it or something. I don't know. That's just me saying. But I cannot, in all honesty, hire somebody who can't get their stuff out there. Dave says, ready to print is just research and development completed. You're paying for production of the product. Exactly. Exactly. And there is nothing wrong with crowdfunding that way. Here's the thing. Why do people keep trying to impose their rules on other people? Went through the same thing, record music for years. You can't do that. You can't do this. You can't do that. No, you can't do that. That's why we're stuck in a rut. People say, oh, you can't do this with comics. You can't do this with comics. You know what? I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to try to make it, you know, look cool. But I'm not going to follow anybody's rules. I'm going to figure it out for myself. All the music I've recorded, I've tried to figure it out for myself. I experiment, try to find what sounds good. PsychoTron is probably the most mainstream sounding stuff I've recorded. And it still sounds punk rock, you know. I'm sick and tired of rules. Some of my favorite music, when I really like got into punk rock and stuff, I listened to stuff that was recorded on, like the old Minor Threat stuff, where they would they had a recording van come to their practice space, and they run all the wires into a basement and recorded the music and just tried to mix it the best they could. All the stuff was raw. You got all this energy. It didn't sound perfect. It wasn't polished at all. But there was a feel to it. There was a magic to it. I love the Beatles. Like, not the early Beatles, but the later Beatles, when they had made it big enough that they got to go in the studio and do whatever they want to. Had they not been able to do that, all this crazy stuff they did wouldn't exist. They just started making their own rules. We're out here in indie comics. There is no overlord. I don't answer to Marvel or DC, and I'm not going to answer to some weirdo who is a passive-aggressive turd muncher. I'm going to do what I want. If you don't like it, that's fine. But don't get on Twitter and make posts trying to take digs at my business model. Mind your business. These guys' books sell better than mine. I don't understand. Are they trying to chop us off at the knees or what? If your business model works for you, fine. Are you just trying to cause drama for clicks or something? I don't get it. I could care less how they do their business. I do mine the best way I can, and it's really punk rock. I'm come from doing the punk rock stuff. Back in the day, we were we would record our own music. We used 4-track recorders, try to transfer the stuff over to a CD or to a PC, and make our own CDs and sell CDs for like $5. You know, that's what we did, and that's where I'm coming from now. We're getting the art done. We're doing the stuff just the way we want to do it, the best we can. And we're saying, hey, you want this? Then you can help us. Either that, or I can go and start like going to a Kinko's or something, or I ain't got nothing like that here. I'll have to go to Staples, and I can Xerox them all and staple them together if it's not punk rock enough for you guys. And then I can just sell them on my website for $1. Does that make everybody happy? So let me get back to the chat. Yeah, these people are calling it crowd selling because they obviously don't understand what crowdfunding is. And when you call them on their stuff, they have to double down on it and show their ignorance. It's the same people. These guys, they don't straight up attack you. They passively, aggressively attack you and then stream about it. And I'll probably, I commented on something yesterday. I was in a hateful mood, and so I'll probably get talked about and stuff like that. And that's fine. Mallet says my market is a lot different. I make crap and hope it sells. Well, I mean, that's just how it is there too. I mean, we could do that if I had the money. I could take money out of my pocket. I could go sell one of my guitars and print. Well, I tried that with First Lone Wolf. I took my income tax money after we crowdfunded, and I fulfilled. When I went to order the books, I took my income tax money and ordered 1,000 books. Because I sold like 300 something. But 1,000 books. And I was like, oh, now I can just sell them. I can sell them here and sell them there. I sold some at con, like these little cons in Cookeville. But I've had them online, and I sell one here and there. I've made my money back. But they don't. I can sell more crowdfunding, which is weird. That's something else with this crazy comic community. They've been brainwashed or something. I don't understand. Yeah, Skinny says if you can't afford art, odds are you're talking to the wrong artist. A lot of these guys think their first book needs Jim Lee art on. Exactly. I would rather work with an indie guy, an up-and-comer. Just somebody. Like I worked with Jeff on First Lone Wolf. Jeff did a fine job on Lone Wolf. I love the way Lone Wolf looks. It's got that indie vibe. Jeff has done some insane covers for people. I'm happy with the book. I think it looks good. And I'm working with Eric now. And Eric, I love Eric's art. I can't wait for you guys to see some of the pages he's been sending me for PsychoTron 2. Like, we was talking there, and then all of a sudden I get like 4 or 5 pages that are done and colored. And I'm like, dude, these look so good. Can't wait for you guys to see. I believe, like, this is one thing I noticed on books, and this doesn't have anything to do with what I'm ranting about. You've got the first few pages, it's like, oh, they're kind of getting into it, They're getting into the character. Then at some point they establish what the character looks like. They've refined, the way he moves. It's like they learned the character. And then it's like, that's pretty good. Then the second stuff comes along, and they've got him nailed. Here it goes. Completely nailed. Ready to go. I love that. Skinny says, find an artist who's affordable you can grow with. Exactly. Or find you a partner. Find somebody who is just, if you've got something cool, find somebody who's into that with you. Like, that's one thing, like, back in the days, like starting a band. We didn't try to still, hire the bass player from the country band who played at the bar every week. And we tried to find somebody who played the same stuff we did, who liked what we did. Find somebody who's going to take an interest in your book, who wants to be creative and create with you. Don't just hire somebody. I feel like a lot of these people that are just hired, there's no personal touch to it, and it's just a job. There's no heart. They have no attachment to it other than like a paycheck. And that's how I feel. Well, it says, how's the doggo doing? Man, he is more spoilt than ever. He is absolutely rotten. We went to town this morning. It was time for me to get his flea and tick medication. I get him the kind that you eat, and he takes them for one every 3 months. So I went and got him one, and then we went to Sonic, and I got me a large water with lemon. And a while back they were doing like the pup cup things, and they don't do them anymore. But I asked the girl, I said, is there any way you could do a pup cup? She says, yeah, I'll do one. And she waits for me. She goes, I don't know. She goes, I don't know what to charge on here, so I'm just going to give it to you for free. And I laughed. But, we pull up there and get it, and then I pull in, and I just hold it so he can lick it. Because if I sit in the seat, the cup will go over. So I'm holding, he's sitting there and just licking. He looks at me. He's such a nut. And my mom spoils him. Like, he's my dog half the time, and when I'm at work, he's her dog. He's so spoiled. He's on the porch right now. During the day, a lot of times, I'll try to come in, I'll have his leash, and he'll just stop, and he looks at me. I'm like, you want to stay outside? And he'll turn around. So, he's on the porch right now. Skinny says, trailer fours are built from glorified cardboard. They really are. And once it gets wet and soaks down into it, they just crumble. Like around the vents in here, condensation builds up on them. And so there's soft spots around every one of the vents. So I'm going to have to fix that too. We got Eric Kent in here. Skinny says, I don't impose rules. I just don't like a bunch of turds trying to tell people not to buy my book because unlike them, I put in the work. Exactly. Well, here's the thing, though, is why is it their business? Who gave them authority? I mean, you can complain. It's a free country. You can complain. But what are you really doing other than wasting time? If you've got so much time on your hands that you can stream or sit on Twitter all day and argue about the way I do things, wouldn't that time be better spent into doing your things? Maybe. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up here. Skinny says that rawness is love, passion, and fun. Exactly. That's what you hear in a lot of that old punk rock stuff is really rough and raw. Is you see the heart in it, and I want that kind of stuff to come through in my comic books. I want it to be original. I don't want it to be a carbon copy of what they done over here, but I want it to look good. I want it to be nice. Skinny says it's like baking. The most important ingredient is always love. And Larry says the most important ingredient is boobs. Skinny says, I don't care for the booby covers, but I do like how much people are willing to pay for them. I mean, it's like I said, it's not for me. I'm not going to back the... If you guys make your books and you have that cover, I'm sorry. I'm going to try to back a regular cover. That's... like I said, to me, it just feels creepy. I don't like it. And I'm not going to sell books like that. That's just not for me. And that's fine. If somebody else wants to do it, that's fine. People probably think... like, okay, I can be friends with anybody as long as you're cool. As long as you're nice to me, that's fine. the way me and Skinny do business are completely different. And we argue sometimes and we have different ideas and stuff. But I would never try to detract anybody from doing business with him. And it's like it's not my business. And then other people are probably like, I don't know how you guys are friends. He smokes doobies and says bad words and does bad things. And Skinny's always been super cool to me. I know people in real life that do things that I don't do. All I can do in my life is live my life the way I want to live it. I'm not going to encroach on his life, and I respect him not encroaching on mine. That's just the way it is. If you want to judge me by people that have been super cool to me on the internet, or super cool to me in real life, Skinny has always, from day one, didn't know Skinny from anywhere, always just supported the crap out of me and had my back from day one. He might post stuff I don't agree with. He might be a doobie smoker. You doobie smoker. Personally, I don't smoke doobies. I don't care anything about doing stuff like that. But what Skinny does doesn't hurt me. It's Skinny's life. Skinny can do what he wants to. That's America. That's where I get really libertarian. I think I pretty much just legalize everything. You know, the drug addicts will take care of themselves. The only time it should be illegal is like when you sell it to a kid who's not old enough to make the decision on, you know. Oh, man, I'm just full of it today. Larry says, I saw someone complaining they needed $15,000 to make a book. I laughed my butt off. Even with an expensive artist, it still only costs $5,000. I can make a book a lot cheaper than that. If you work with a really good artist. But the thing is, and I kind of dropped the ball on PsychoTron. Because I've actually sold more books for other people because I used to be online all the time and just, you know, promote, go, 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 go. You can make a book cheap with the right artist, but it's not going to cost like I don't know. It's not going to cost that much to print. It's not going to cost $15,000. Honestly, let me do a little math here, and I'll tell you what it costs. Just kind of generalize what it costs to do the first Lone Wolf. Okay. It probably cost me about $1,500. That's just paying for the art and the lettering. You know, I threw another $1,000 in there to print it because I could print $1,000. That $1,000 came out of my pocket, so that's $2,500 to make 1,000 comic books. If I'd have been smart and sold them for more than like just barely making money on them, I could have made a ton of money. But, well, not a ton, but you know, made some more money. Let's see. You don't need mainstream art and indies. It's counter to the spirit. Exactly. Exactly. Eric Hawkins is back. Eric, you missed a whole lot of ranting and raving. Dave is saying hey to Sam if he's still in here. Dave, meat, sandwich. Oh, Dave. Skinny will be here, but he's driving. We got Zippy in here. He says my booby covers alert went off, and well, here I am. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, everybody, send your well wishes and prayers for Miss Skinny. She's been sick and been in the hospital. Eric Hawkins says, I haven't spent more than $3K on any of my books so far. That includes the printing. Yeah, like I said, I spent about $2,500 on Lone Wolf. Legends of Lone Wolf costed a ton, even though everybody donated the artwork and stuff. It was a perfect bound book and like 100 and something pages, and the quotes changed on me because it was so long between quotes, because artists, this is one thing too, a lot of these guys, I wouldn't pay them because a lot of guys are supposed to just do, 5 to 10 pages, and they couldn't even get that done, and they just disappeared on me. It's like pulling teeth to get stuff from people. It's insane. But yeah, you can go tell everybody who I'm ranting about. Some of you know the kind of people I'm ranting about. I'm looking at my Twitter now. This is something I posted this morning because it was on my mind. People expect maximum results with minimum effort. Yeah, that's a true story. Skinny says 3K, but that includes high dollar variants. Let's see, we get into variants and stuff, and I don't know what it costs to. I can look it up. I can go look it up, but I don't know exactly what it costs to do PsychoTron. Zippy says, that's not fair. I told you my pencil broke. I couldn't afford to get another one. I'm going to show you guys my guitar that I got. People probably go, Doug, how can you afford them guitars? Put it on a dang credit card, son. Musician's friend had this faded 1961 reissue SG. They had it on sale. They marked it down. Had $500 knocked off of it. I'd paid off my musician's friend credit card a while back, and that thing was marked down $500. 48 months, no interest. Bam! Bought it. So, tickles to death with it. And it will, in my Les Paul, which I've only had my Les Paul a couple months, are going to just crank out some epic music this year. It's going to be awesome. Now let's go on to lunch. Hey man, glad you dropped by. It's really nice to see you in the chat, buddy. Hope you're doing good. Eric Hawkins says I only spend as much as I do because I overprint to take stuff to shows to sell. See, on PsychoTron, what I've got left over was we printed the bare minimum. So I've some stuff sold. Some books I printed more of. But some of the I've still got left over. I printed the minimum, and they're left over, and I'm gonna try to sell them. I'm actually today. What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make some Greystone Press super packages. I'm gonna put I found some copies of Legends. I'm gonna put Legends, the Banjo Man Ash Can. Found a couple copies of Vestry 1. They were overprints. They was in the box. Got some overprints from the first Napalm Brothers and the Charlie on the Wire. I'm going to throw Lone Wolf in there. Maybe a couple variants. A PsychoTron. Psychotron soundtrack. Stickers, pins, and all that stuff. I'm going to throw it all in one package. Pretty much, you're going to be paying for Lone Wolf and Psychotron and a CD, and I'm going to give away the Vestry and the other one with it, because I don't want to make money off those guys' stuff. I know they're overprints and stuff like that, but I'd sent a lot of their when I had extras. I sent them. Sent some of those guys some of the extras, but Zippy says I want the books that you shot. Well, I've got a copy of Red Rooster I've been planning on shooting. Anybody want to see that? And what do you want to see me shoot Red Rooster with? I've got an AK. I've got an AR-15. I got a H&K copy, MP5 9mm. I've got a 308. I can, like I said, I can do the Desert Eagle. I got my John Wick gun, my HK John Wick pistol. I've got a Makarov and 380. I can do my shotgun, 22 revolver. Need to do a metal book and shoot the cover. That would be cool. I need to do a book and put a target on the cover and shoot through the target. Oh, man. How long have I been going on? What time is it? I wonder if 45 minutes. Yeah. The rooster. Yeah, we used to cover that in this band I was in called Curly Purtis. Let me see if I can find that for you. Oh, why am I typing that in? YouTube. And from the YouTube, we'll search. Yeah. My AK is awesome, by the way. Skippy. Oh, here we go. I'll play this for Yenses. Let's see. Display. Let me see if this is the right audio. Yeah, we ain't gonna die. Yeah, Dave says, I love this. Yeah, that was really, this is one of my favorites too. Of course, my friend that recorded this cough somewhere in the middle of it. Yeah, I love that stuff. We were a cool band. Dave says music is magical, man. It really is, and you don't hear nobody like do those bluegrassy covers of that stuff. We were pretty popular here in this area. It was cool. Oh, your wife's favorite band is Three Doors Down? That's cool. And here's one. It's 7 years ago. Good grief. Let me skip it back. Everybody covers this, though. I mean, this is kind of a given.
Gonna take freight train down at the station. Down here we go. Gonna climb a mountain on the highest mountain low. Gonna jump off and nobody gonna go. Let's see what that woman she's been doing to me. Let's see what that woman she's been doing to me.
Good times. Man, I wish that band would stay together. This was before the Crows. Then me and Ricky, after this band fell apart, we started, before the Crows. That's just how it is. I don't know if I've got any more CDs anywhere. Yeah. Well, guys, I spent about an hour ranting. I really want to do something constructive today. Maybe even productive. Think about working on some new music. Thing is, I really want to be able to set my drums up in that room in there. Once I set my drums up, I'm playing real drums on stuff. I don't want to use... I'm okay using like programming drums and stuff and getting some cool beats and things. And I probably will do that on the next PsychoTron soundtrack, which I probably need to go ahead and start working on that. I'm not going to do like a full 6 songs or anything. Probably just do 2 or 3. But I'll probably use program drums for those because they're super clean. But on my personal stuff, I'm going to go back to playing the drums because I want it to be really raw. And instead of using my Helix here for guitar tones, I'm going to use real amps. So everything I want it to be really raw and old school. So instead of like super clean and polished. So I hope you've learned today that stop being a turd and mind your own business. If you don't like my business model, then go do your own. Stop making passive aggressive comments and posts and streams dogging somebody just because you don't like them or whatever. So I'm getting out of here, but like I said, I hope you learned your lesson for today. And I will talk etchings later. Bye.